All right, man. Peace. So, all-time great player LeBron James and his team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, have encountered a great deal of turbulence since Isaiah Thomas has come back from injury. This has led to a series of blowouts that thus far has culminated in the latest game against the Toronto Raptors, in which they were blown out by over 30 points. LeBron James imploded in a huddle with his teammates, cursing out both his teammates and the coaches. This led to Kyrie Irving, the former point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who's now leading the Boston Celtics to the best record in the Eastern Conference, liking the footage of the incident on Instagram. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Last night, LeBron went off on his teammates in the Cavs huddle. The video was posted on Instagram and liked by none other than Kyrie Irving. The Cavs have been terrible lately and lost by 34 last night. Shannon? Do you like the...
Look at how LeBron cursing out that old man. He ended that tirade with nigga. He's like, I'm the one who brought you here from the CBA, nigga.
You like that Kyrie did this?
I like the fact that he's watching us. But I already knew he was in London. I already knew he was in London, Joy. Guess where he sit this? Guess where he liked this from? Under the London Bridge, a little troll. That's all he is. That's all he
clever.
is. Yeah.
It took you a while to
No, it
figure
didn't
that
take me
one.
no time to figure that. That's what he is. Why you worry about what we got going on, Kyrie? Look.
What?
Yeah, Kyrie, you wanted out, so you got out. You know, it's like the mafia. You got out, now we put a hit on you. We'll catch up to your ass come May. Don't worry about it.
Wait, LeBron's London Bridge is falling down.
No. I get it. That's a rival. The Cavaliers are a rival now.
Mm-hmm.
And all this, if you want to be the best, you got to be the best. That's bull jive. If somebody knock off the best, I'm happy with that too. I just want to win and get to where I need to go.
I agree with that. All that stuff about to be the best, you have to beat the best. In a sport that involves seeding, like basketball or football, I've never bought into that nonsense of, well, the team won the championship, but they didn't face the best teams in the playoffs. They faced whoever was available. Like when Golden State won the championship in 2015, so many people said, well, everybody that they played had injuries. Well, that's not their problem. That's an issue with their training staff, with those respective teams' training staffs. That's not an issue for Golden State. No one felt sorry for them when they suffered a series of injuries in the 2016 playoff run that led to them not winning the championship, when they were clearly the best team in the NBA.
They're struggling. I'm glad Kyrie's like, yeah, I'm glad they're struggling. I have no problem with that. I have no problem that Kyrie liked this post. Nope.
I don't think that Kyrie liked the post because it showed that they're struggling as much as he liked it to show that this was the unstable emotional energy that I was dealing with for the last 3 years, and I'm happy that I'm away from that now. Now we deal with issues and adversity in a more constructive way.
No problem with it whatsoever, Skip. But he's watching us. He know. He know what
he
knows what that guy from the 3-3-0 represents.
Yeah.
He knows.
Oh, he knows better than anyone.
As good as he's playing right now, as good as that team is playing right now.
Boston, yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
When number 2-3 get number playoffs,
Yeah.
something comes over him. He starts glowing, Joe. Just get bigger and bigger every game.
Sounds like you're describing Kyrie, but...
Just stop it. He didn't win either. Jaylen Brown cooking folks. You proud of that too, huh?
A lot of these LeBron James superfans in the sports media are getting a little worried now. They didn't think that the Celtics were going to be as good as they are. And they took for granted that the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to head straight to the finals. I still give them the edge until they get knocked off. I give them the edge just because they have LeBron James, and out of respect for what LeBron has done in the last 7 years, going to 7 straight finals, I'll give them a 65 to 70% chance. But the Boston Celtics, they have a great deal of synergy from the coaching all the way down to their role players, the effort that they give on defense. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they're able to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs, to see what happens, because everything is about matchups. So I'm not going to assume that Boston is even going to get to Cleveland. There's a good chance that they may have to face the Washington Wizards in the second round. That would be a very, very tough matchup for Boston, because they don't match up very well with the Wizards.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron would love to have a night where he could be the 4th or 5th leading scorer and they still win by 10 points. That's never going to happen.
That's not going to happen because, as I've stated numerous times on this channel, every team that LeBron James plays on has to run the LeBron James system. So the team that he's on becomes overly dependent upon him. And even though he laments it, he would not know how to be a part of a team where he actually had to move the ball and he was not the focus of the offense and the defense. So when people decide to blame him for his team's misfortunes, unfortunately for him, it is warranted.
But that's okay, Skip. I don't have a problem with Kyrie doing this, little troll.
We got something for your little ass. Don't worry about it, Kyrie. Wait till May. I'm gonna twist your damn neck up. It's gonna look just like Gordon Hayward's ankle.
He just called Kyrie a troll.
What he doing?
He's being petty.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp,
What?
I believe it is time once again for you to tell the story you told yesterday about that young Maasai warrior being asked to prove himself by going out and killing a lion by himself.
Yes.
And what did Shannon Sharp say he would do as he entered into the jungle to find the lion?
Big banging on the drum.
Just beat the drum.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I want all the lions to wake up and let them know he's coming. You know what they're going to say, Skip?
Huh?
They're like, you don't want me, you want him. I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want then.
Yep.
You know, that was a right of manhood, you know, since Skip brought it up and Shannon mentioned the story. That was a right of manhood, not just for the Maasai tribe, but numerous ancient cultures. A male child will have to kill a wild animal, particularly a wolf or a bear or a lion, in order to be granted the title of manhood.
Young Kyrie Irving beating that drum. Here he comes.
Okay.
Beating the drum.
Okay.
He wants the biggest lion in the
That's
jungle.
him. That's him. You see, he got
lion-
a big beard, too.
The lion sleeps tonight because he's been sleeping.
There ain't no jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion to sleep tonight. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He'll never sleep.
Sleeping. Well, he slept last night. He had a game, but he slept.
Nah.
He slept through the whole game.
Stop it.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Isaiah.
Stop it, Skip. Not my man. He's not just a lion, he's a silverback. You come for him, you better have blow darts, a spear, machine gun, everything you got.
Isaiah slept through the whole game.
He did also. They all did. All the little cubs, they all slept.
LeBron had 26, Skip on 9
Okay.
of 16 shooting. You don't want to talk about it. And he shot 80% for the free throw line.
You got to.
See, that's normal LeBron James fan nonsense. Every time he loses, they run off his stats. He better have great stats. He always has the ball in his hands. That's why his own coach, Tyronn Lue, started to talk about people's agendas. Because it's going to start to come to the forefront many of the things that myself and other people who actually pay attention to the game have been stating about LeBron, which is that he's trying to be justified by his stats.
Got to give this to Kyrie Irving.
What?
He ain't afraid of no kid.
No
He ain't.
no question.
He's just saying, I want him. And he's also telling everybody, that's exactly what I don't miss. That's exactly why I'm in Boston. I don't want any more of that. I like this.
Yeah.
I love it that he liked it.
Skip, they don't have any adversity. Now, football is different than basketball. But in football, the leader of the team, if a unit is struggling,
Yep.
he's going to call that unit up, be it offense or defense, and that guy's going to put them and say, guys, we got to play better than this. We got to do better than this. That's what he's trying to do. He's watching like, dude, what's going on? Why can't y'all make a shot? Y'all see me making all these shots.
Okay.
But I always make shots.
You know what? Look, obviously, LeBron James is an all-time great basketball player. I take nothing away. He's got it all. He's still the best passer in basketball.
Player.
He's a great scorer. He's not the best player anymore because Kevin Durant.
No, Kevin Durant's
that
not.
title, but that's okay. He's still all-time great. He's going to be somewhere up there near.
Look, let me say this. I still have LeBron as the number one player in the NBA, but the Kevin Durant comparison is starting to get closer and closer. Okay? At the end of this season, if Durant wins another championship in dominant fashion and he were to win another MVP in the finals, I'm going to have to put him over LeBron. Simple as that, because he's better on defense right now than LeBron. And offensively, it's very, very close. Very close.
Near Mount Rushmore, we're not sure where because it isn't.
Stop talking about near Mount Rushmore. He's on it right now.
But Shannon Sharp,
What?
you have to come to grips with the fact he is the drama king.
Absolutely. And LeBron James is not on Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore only has 4 faces on it. So LeBron James is not one of the top 4 players to ever play. Sorry. That's Michael, Kareem, Bill Russell, and Magic. Those are the top 4.
And every night it's something new inside that organization, and it all swirls around the king, the drama king. It's always a cryptic comment. Now we got Ty Lue firing back cryptic comment at LeBron James. And Kyrie's just saying, I like this because I'd never loved any of that. It drove him nuts because every night there's chaos in the locker room.
Absolutely. Hey, what have I been telling you brothers for the longest time? An agent of chaos. The woman by nature is an agent of chaos. And men who have that feminine energy, they're agents of chaos also. Kyrie Irving does not have that feminine energy. He's the type of person who, you know, and being an agent of chaos doesn't mean that you never lose your temper. It doesn't mean that you don't spaz out. But some people, they get a high off of spazzing out. They get a high off of trying to manipulate people emotionally by emitting instability, because that causes instability in others if they're subjected to it for a long enough time. And that's what Kyrie became detached from, because he grew up around so much masculine energy. He understands that, you know, that emotional emission, that's not something that you want to go to, you know, excessively, because it's going to bring a great deal of fragility to your locker room. It's going to bring a great deal of instability to your team. And in moments of crisis and adversity, it's going to show, because people are not going to be able to come together. They're going to crumble.
There's chaos swirling because what's he going to do? What's he going to think? What's his mood? What's
LeBron,
always something with LeBron. There's no even keel to this basketball player or team.
Skip, you see this when teams are not winning. You don't know. I mean, we haven't seen Golden State go through adversity in the last 3 or 4 years, because they're always 36-2, 40-5.
Right, but what does that say, Shannon? I mean, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does success come before a strong team framework, or does the team framework precipitate strong success? You know, at the end of the day, I know that, you know, LeBron James has a very, very strong following. And I know that they will do anything to protect his legacy or his potential effect on teams that he's on. But the fact of the matter is that when you look through his track record, it definitely shows you what he is. And that is the modern day Wilt Chamberlain. And I say this all the time. A physically dominant, freakish athlete who is at least one level above everyone else in the league, above everyone else of his contemporaries. But, you know, when the going gets tough and you have to show your mental fortitude and how much you're above everyone else mentally, that's when he comes up short. I don't even have an issue with him spazzing out on his teammates, but you do that in the locker room. You don't do that on the sideline like that. You know, you have to hold that off until the locker room. Jordan would spaz out on his teammates, but he would do it in the locker room. You don't do that out there on the court like that. That shows a lack of wisdom. And then to go back and forth with your coach in that manner, do that in the locker room, man.
They don't have any adversity. Right now, the Cavaliers are going through adversity. And LeBron normally gets out of character when they're going through adversity and he's trying to right the ship. That's what any good leader do. You don't see things getting chaotic and you just wait till the ship starts to go down before you try to correct it. It's too late. But don't worry about what we got going on, Kyrie. You just go and handle your business. We'll see you down the road.
Yeah, but you guys have spent most of the season trying to scrutinize and nitpick the Boston Celtics. When the Celtics went through that little spell where they were basically a 500 team, people like Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright and Chris Carter, what did they say? Oh, well, Boston's coming back down to earth. It wasn't that they hit a little tough spell in their schedule. It was that they're coming back down to earth. Now that Cleveland is struggling, everything. Well, you know, LeBron will be fine. They act as if LeBron is someone who's won 6 out of 7 championships. No, he's going to do what he's always done. He's going to get the team to the playoffs. He's going to put up very good numbers, very high level of proficiency and efficiency. And the only difference is that this year they might get knocked out in the second or the third round. Who knows? We'll see. I still have them as my pick to get to the finals, but we'll see.
We get our car going. Right now, we broke down side of the road. We stranded. Kyrie comes by waving. Hey, I told y'all to get rid of that old car, but don't worry about it.
Just remember.
Don't worry about Kyrie. We got the mechanic coming out here to fix this car. We're going to catch up to your ass. We'll beat you to the finish line, little nigga.
Kyrie Irving embraced the opportunity to go to an Eastern Conference rival, which meant that he embraced the challenge of having to or getting to, however you want to look at it, take on LeBron James in playoff after how long LeBron's going to stay.
In his original 5 teams, the Celtics were not on there. And the thing that the Cavaliers had to come to grips with, okay, who gives us the best package? Do you actually think they wanted to trade him to Kyrie? To the Boston Celtics? No, but they gave them the best offer. They were giving them an all-star in IT. Now, he was injured. Now, that would have raised my antenna. They got Jay Crowder, who's a starter, and they got the next first-round draft pick. So that was the best offer they could get. Ideally, they would have preferred to send him to Phoenix and let him deal with that over there.
Well, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to send him to Phoenix. They were going to send him to Phoenix for Eric Bledsoe and include Indiana in a 3-way deal that would have brought them also Paul George. But the reason why that trade didn't work is because LeBron's hard-headed ass did not want to commit to Dan Gilbert that he would be with the team at least next season, sign another contract. So LeBron only has himself to blame.
Okay, but Kyrie has embraced all things Celtics and has made it clear, and I don't know if this is a fact, but he has indicated he wants to sign long-term there. Now, is LeBron going to stay home for the rest of his career? I have no idea.
We might go to Boston.
You might go to Boston.
Hell yeah. No, I didn't want to let it out the bag, Skip, but I mean, shit, since you brought it up with your old ass, yeah, we heading to Boston. Heading right to Beantown. Me and LeBron, 2 big-ass black leprechauns. We're going to take over for Kyrie, Okay, so we walk in the locker room, we're going to say, hey, little nigga, we back.
And then they want you in Boston. Yeah, they do. And they're going to say, bye, Kyrie. Just like they said, bye to IT. Bye, Kyrie.
Do you really believe that LeBron's going to go to the Celtics so they can get rid of Kyrie?
So that's kind of pool we got, Joyce. Yeah, what we do?
Yeah.
Big bank, take little bank. You remember the senior skit when you was in high school? Mm-hmm. You had a girlfriend as a freshman, and the senior started looking at, guess what? 2 days later, he got her. She wearing his Letterman jacket.
That actually happened to me, and then I stole her back.
I wouldn't want her back.
But
I wouldn't want her. You went with him. That loser.
But unfortunately, I married her, which was a bad idea. So that was just
but
I did.
Go ahead, Skip. let the people know. Skip said, I tried to turn a hoe into a housewife, I learned.
Happened to me. So,
see,
sorry.
That's why you should have left her.
I should have. I know, and she would say that too.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Hey, you heard what Skip said? Shannon said that's why you should have left her alone. And Skip said she would have said that too. In other words, like I tell brothers all the time, the woman will show you that what she's worth. You have to keep your eyes open and listen. All right? Skip didn't know. He was young and silly, trying to make a piece of shit into a piece of sugar. But he learned. That's why Shannon said, you should love her ass.
Yeah, so that's what we petty like that.
So, back to the real world. And the real world is that Kyrie is not making any bones about he wants LeBron James. That's you got to respect that.
Well, Skip, because he knows that's who he's going to face, whether he wants it or not.
So Kyrie is making comments about he is sacrificing his scoring, and not that he's a big
really? He want to sacrifice now. He wants to sacrifice, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold up, Shannon. The role that he was playing in Cleveland as the assassin, as the scorer, as the finisher, was a role that was plotted out for him by LeBron James and Ty Lue. So you can't compare the role that he's embraced in Boston as opposed to the one that he had in Cleveland. And Kyrie's scoring really hasn't gone down that much. His efficiency has gone up because he's playing in an actual system. He's playing with teammates who are all allowed to dribble and create. It's made his job a lot easier because he's also been given point guard duties. He's shown that he can pass. But in the modern day NBA, you cannot really evaluate how good a point guard you have by his assist numbers because the game is very different today. Back in the 80s and 90s, you had the point guard up at the top of the key. You ran the offense, or if you were running a fast break, the point guard always had the basketball, and he made all the decisions. So it's very common for an Isaiah Thomas, a John Stockton, a Magic Johnson to average 12, 13 assists a game. In the NBA of today, you have constant ball movement. The ball does not stick in any one player's hands. So when you look at teams like the San Antonio Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, it's very, very common for them to not have a person average more than 6 assists because the ball is not allowed to stick in any one player's hands anymore.
You see what he did, Skip Bayless? Why couldn't you
It's
sacrifice in
all
your first marriage?
about winning.
Why couldn't you
All about
sacrifice
winning.
in your first marriage? You see
Supposed
what
to
I'm talking
grow.
about?
You're supposed to evolve. Learn.
Nah.
I
Oh,
have-
you didn't want to grow with
Make
me.
new
I had
mistakes.
to grow up.
Yeah.
Skip, I talked to Kyrie back when he was in Cleveland. I said, little nigga, how come you won't pass the ball? You know, he told me some shit about how, he wanted to get his. I said, okay, no problem. No problem. I told that to LeBron. I said, watch that nigga. And he ain't listen. And now look. Now the man coming back at us like, like Optimus Prime. And LeBron Megatron. I feel sorry for my baby. I think he about to lose, Skip. Skip, I need some time off. I need to clear my head.
Plus, Ernestine said, I can handle this, She said, I can put up with you.
You need to get
Maybe
some camera with you.
no one else would put up
see
with
Ernestine, and when you sleep at night, Ernestine be like, oh, I just want one time to.
I don't think she does, actually.
Ernestine be gritting them teeth like, boy,
I don't think she does.
No.
Honestly, I don't.
Ernestine's sweet.
All I'm saying is, Skip, and he
He's
has.
a saint, actually.
He has sacrificed his score. We know Kyrie. If Kyrie wanted to, Kyrie could legitimately average 30 points a game.
A guy with a reputation for not playing any defense is now one of the top-rated defenders in all the NBA.
And let me say this. The game that really showed me that Boston was going to have a special season was a game very, very early in the season when they went to OKC and they were down big at the half. And they dug in and they came back. That was an extremely impressive performance. Kyrie totally outplayed Russell Westbrook in the second half, which I expect because Westbrook is not a second half player. But I saw from there that they were going to be special.
And his team is number one in defense.
Yeah.
It has 5 players in the top 12 in defensive win shares. That's sensational.
It is.
That's shocking.
Skip, that's what.
And that's what throws off a lot of teams because of the fact that they're so young and quick. They actually can guard all the way out from the 3-point line down into the paint. And that's what makes Boston so tough to deal with. And that's why I say if they were to play Golden State in the finals, that would be a great finals, man. That's why I would love to see them be able to get Anthony Davis without having to get rid of any of their major pieces. Because they could give Golden State a serious run. They can give them a serious run right now. But if they got Anthony Davis, to me, that's a pick'em series.
That's what happens. Because normally, whatever they say you couldn't do, you want to show in this new relationship that you could. So they say, well, Kyrie can't do anything but score points. He said, I'm going to drop my scoring down, but I'm going to focus a little bit more on the defensive end. And he's done that. So I have no problem with Kyrie. Kyrie is spectacular. I still wish he was with the Cavaliers.
Kyrie is a modern-day Isaiah Thomas. And when I say Isaiah Thomas, of course, I'm talking about the old school one from the Detroit Pistons. That's who I see when I see Kyrie play. Dominant ball handler, phenomenal clutch shooter, great penetrator, great passer when he wants to be. Sky's the limit for him.
I wish him all the best, except when he go against the guy from the 3-3-0.
Well, he is speaking from a position of strength right now, wouldn't you say?
What have you ever seen?
We're halfway through, and they're about to run away with the East, it looks like, doesn't it?
You remember WrestleMania? When they had the Undertaker was down on the floor and the crowd started chanting, he was laying flat on his back, and all of a sudden he sat up in the ring.
Oh, but that was rigged. That was rigged.
Watch the King. Oh, everybody they throwing dirt on him. They just throwing dirt on him. They eulogizing him and everything. Watch come playoff time, Skip Bayless.
I'm sure he'll be very good, but he's going to have to be, and his teammates are going to have to be a lot better on defense.
I agree. Once again, I'm not going to, as Shannon would say, throw dirt on Cleveland yet. LeBron has built up too much equity to just assume that this is going to be the year that he does not make it to the finals. I think that he understands the threat that Boston poses because LeBron is a basketball genius. He's a basketball mastermind. So he can see things 5-6 steps ahead. He knows the problems that Boston will pose defensively. Whenever you have a team that plays defense as well as Boston, you're not going to blow them out because they're always going to stay in the game. Anytime you watch a team in any sport or any athlete that has great defense, whether it's the 2000 Baltimore Ravens or Floyd Mayweather, they're never going to get blown out of their competition because they're able to stay close because their opponent is unable to get off on them. So that keeps, that will keep a person like that or a team like that mentally in the game. So LeBron understands that. When he sees Boston, he says, you know what? We're going to have a hard time with them. Barring injury to Kyrie or someone like that. Because, number one, they can stretch the floor when they're on offense. And then when they're on defense, they can cover the floor very well. So LeBron, it's going to take a lot of his energy to win a series like that.
Yeah. I'll give you this. There have been one playoff series in which he hasn't been great. And that was in 2011, the NBA Finals.
No, sir. No. To say that he wasn't great in that series, that's an understatement. He was terrible. Okay? You can say that there's one series where he was terrible, and that's the 2011 NBA Finals. He was not great in 2014 against the Spurs. He simply was not. He was not great against the Spurs in 2014.
If you go back and check his
Well,
history,
that Boston, the last playoff series in Cleveland was not great.
The dude had 20. The dude had 27, 19, and 9.
Go back and look at 4, 5, and 6 and tell me what happened.
And he had 30. Skip.
Yeah, he scored a lot in that series in 2010. He scored almost as much as his teammates were scoring with his mother, allegedly.
He had the big 3. What, if you answer me,
Now you see what Shannon just did there. He basically said LeBron lost in 2010 because he faced the big 3. Now LeBron was a player on a team that had won over 60 games, but Shannon is saying that he lost to Boston that year because they had the big 3, even though LeBron had home court in that series. Now, Shannon's the same guy who'll talk about how Michael Jordan couldn't beat the big 3 of the Celtics in the 80s, which was a better team than the big 3 that LeBron faced in Boston in the 2010s.
Tell me this. I'm going to go back and look at those games. Can you tell me why KG, Paul Pierce, and Rondo won't speak to Ray Allen anymore? Because Bron broke them up. They won't even speak to him. KG won't even ask him to come on Area 21.
Now, how could he have broke up a team where the average player, the average star on the team was over 35 years old? They were done. Ray Allen was sitting on the bench. They were starting Avery Bradley over him. LeBron didn't break them up. They broke themselves up. And as usual with Doc Rivers coach teams, after about 5 years, the players can't stand him.
Maybe it's because Ray saved LeBron's legacy with that shot.
Yeah, it's because Ray left them and went and won a ring.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, though. He ain't love y'all, though. He told you he ain't like. What do you say? You got a relationship? When you don't want me no more, tell me. Okay. Ray said, I don't want y'all no more. I'm good.
He's grown. He don't have to tell me anything.
But he told him. And then he went to Miami and got him and broke him up and brought him.
Is the Patriots defense?
Shannon's such a clown, man. But anyway, this LeBron James issue with the Cleveland Cavaliers, it certainly bears watch because this year just seems different with them. But we'll see. They have faced a lot of tumult in previous seasons, and LeBron has been able to raise his team in those previous seasons. So we'll see. But one day the tires are going to come off. And this may be the season because they haven't had a team that had this level of depth like the Boston Celtics have. The Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago won over 60 games, and they looked like they were pretty good, but they didn't have a player anywhere near as good as Kyrie Irving. Anyway, peace.